Signal detected. Tag designated.
This is UNSC Pelican Echo 216. Can you hear me? This is UNS.
Wow, what a waste.
You serious?
Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now. Now you fucked up. 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 Now you have fucked up.
That's the first thing.
Are you fucking kidding me? No! 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 No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No. No. This is bullshit.
That's why I prefer.
In my opinion, that sucked.
Not again.
Stop it, stop it, stop it!
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This is bullshit.
This is fucking bullshit. Okay? These fucking assholes, these fucking assholes! The fuck is their problem, man?
Fucking thing sucks!
I mean, that's so rude. I can't believe it. It's so goddamn rude.
Because I gotta tell you the truth, folks. I gotta tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims.
You know, it's kind of surprising how Sony decides not to even show up for E3 2019, so this should have been an easy win for Microsoft, but instead it was an underwhelming performance this year. Mostly disappointing and uneventful for most of the games that they were showing off. It wasn't like just, oh my god, it's amazing, and yeah, I'm just completely actually baffled how you have an easy win like that and you don't even bother. I mean, Sony is just not even doing great when it comes in terms to marketing wise. Like, they might be selling supposedly good games, but like even their next console that they haven't even, you know, they came out with the specs of it and no one even cared about it that much. There was like no like major news like, oh my god, they announced the PS5, what qualities it's gonna have or what hardware it's gonna have, and no one even cared. I mean, they're not even doing proper marketing that people didn't even know this. It just blew by them, and yet no one cared. And yet this was the time for Microsoft to really shine, and they just didn't even bother. You know, I'm gonna go off to some of the highlights that I did, you know, like, for example, Halo Infinite. You know, at least they finally announced a date for it. It's coming out in 2020 in the holiday time with the Scarlet new Xbox. But there was no multiplayer gameplay. People were hoping to see multiplayer gameplay, but it just didn't happen. There's supposedly leaks of screenshots of gameplay, but this is easily debunked, as if you look at it, the Halo Reach AR is being used instead of the Halo Infinite AR. It may look similar, but they're actually modeled a little bit differently. especially on the top front area. You could actually tell. So it wasn't, it wasn't actually a leak in my opinion. I feel like this was just something they took from like Halo Online and Halo, any like old Halo assets, threw some PBR based texturing, threw it in Unreal Engine, and people were like, oh, it looks legit, but I don't think it is. It's just it looks like Unreal graphics before you do proper post rendering and stuff like that to make it more or make it less taxing on games. This is like full reflection and everything. But yeah, they also, there's a little bit of debate on the color scheme of the Master Chief they showed in the trailer, but I don't think that's big of a deal because if it is coming to Steam in 2020 when it releases, I can just, and they have like mod support, I can just go in and Photoshop, adjust the albedo map and adjust the values, make it a darker green to match more of the traditional Master Chief colors, because this one apparently is a lot lighter than the rest of them. But I mean, overall, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, people are gonna go crazy with the mods anyway, so to me, I'm not really that bothered by the color scheme. I mean, some people like suggest, oh, this should look like this, and other people suggest it should look like that, but I don't really care that much. And what's funny, it's kind of sad with all these other games out there, that this game is not going to come out till 2020, but yet when it came to the voting polls for this for IGN's 2019 most anticipated shooter, it became the #1 most anticipated shooter. I mean, just imagine that it is the most anticipated game compared to all the rest. Borderlands, Modern Warfare, Gears of War 5, what was the other one? Wolfenstein. The other ones didn't even come close to it. It was like, really? I was just like, that's a surprise that all the games of 2019 can't beat a game that isn't coming out this year. Oh man, that tells you how much people are anticipating games this year. Not that high. In other news with the Halo MCC, it looks like they have announced the pricing already. It's I'm not too bothered by it. I still kind of dislike the fact that if you have Halo MCC already and you've kept it all this time, that they're going to charge you again just to play it on PC. I understand paying for the Halo Reach DLC. I'm fine with that, but I just think it's a little kind of excessive what they're trying to do for people that actually stuck around. But oh well. I mean, I don't have to worry too much about it because all that money that I was going to pay for another Xbox Gold, instead I can pay for this because I don't have to worry anymore since I'm not going to bother with it. All I need is an Xbox Silver account where it's free and I don't have to pay and I can play on Steam, so it's kind of like no big deal. I don't have to worry about it. I mean, until Xbox fixes a lot of their issues, like the abuse and everything I did a whole video on, until they do that, I'm not going to bother with paying for Xbox Gold account anymore, which it's kind of great. So now I can play on PC for free and I can play Halo. It's kind of like a win-win in general. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm still a little bit concerned about the progression system. I'm gonna do a video on that, but why I dislike progression in video games because of how abused it is. I know some people like it, some people dislike it. I'll do a whole video on the controversies later on, but yeah, that's just something I'm kind of concerned about. But when it comes to the Game Pass that they're really pushing out, they really do just like trying to make it look like, oh, it's super cheap if you get the Game Pass, but I'm kind of afraid of it because I don't like Game Passes where it might be leading to, so I'll go into depths with that later on in this video. And lastly, they said that the flight tests for Halo Reach are going to start beginning next week, says Tyler Davis, aka Postums, on Twitter. So that's cool. If it's happening next week, let's hope it it looks pretty cool. It looks like they said though the test phase, the first flight test they're gonna do or whatever with the Halo Reach on MCC, that it's gonna actually be a little bit more private. There's only gonna be a few people invited in, but they're gonna slowly drip feed more people in. But when it comes to Gears 5, that is a complete mess, to be honest. I can't believe it. The way they presented Gears 5 in the stream and everything was so boring. I wasn't even paying attention to the stream. I was not even focused on it, but yeah, apparently the way they presented it was really bad for how much content is actually in it, and what they ended up showing at E3 was kind of sad. The game looks just like, like a 4.5, Gears 4.5. It doesn't look like something mind-blowing, and in the gameplay mostly, and that the cinematic only trailers for the stream, didn't get me or many other people hyped up. And also there's like supposedly the Lancer is gonna have a grenade launcher attachment, which I hope to God is not gonna be game breaking, like some sort of like one-man army from Modern Warfare 2 days, because to be honest, I really just don't like grenade launchers in general. I mean, when they're exclusively a grenade launcher, usually they're balanced because you're sacrificing one thing for another, but if you can both shoot your Lancer and shoot a grenade launcher, kind of concerning there, but you know, we'll find out. But I'm just afraid a lot of people are just gonna camp behind cover, and then when you try to move up, they just pop around the corner, fire a grenade launcher, and then spray you to death and whatnot. But yeah, too long though with the news that comes out for Gears of War. Like seriously, we're only months away from release, and we've literally had no news updates until now. But now that they're dropping news, we're getting tons of stuff. But what they should have done in that trailer is just completely sack that campaign trailer that looks like Kate on LSD. It did not really go, oh my god, this looks amazing. It was just a dumb trailer. No one really cared for it. We all know that, you know, she's gonna possibly churn, and if they were gonna do that, they should have done that like near the end of the launch, like where they, you know, leave everyone all, you know, like kind of like anxious when the game comes out, how the campaign's gonna go down. That would have been great for the trailer to come out then. But what they should have shown instead in that trailer, shown some of the cool new weapons and executions and so forth that they didn't show off at E3 necessarily. They showed it in like the new escape mode trailer, but they really should have actually like kind of like brushed over all these new weapons and features, these like ice flamethrowers. I know it's not an ice flamethrower, but it looks like a really cool thing. It's just like all these cool mechanics, and they should have shown that at E3 Live to hype people up with a lot of the other features that they showed, but instead it ended up going to IGN instead, showing this stuff. So that was pretty much what the hell. Also, there's a little bit of a debate over the damage omen. People don't like the look of the damage omen. It's kind of inverted. Instead of the middle being blocked out and the outside being visible, instead it's vice versa. You can see through the center area, but the outer area is not so great, and some people are voicing concerns about it. Me, I don't really care that much. It kind of looks pretty cool. Also, the Terminator DLC that they're adding, a lot of people say it's unoriginal. It's just, you know, that the company is just like the Terminator franchise is just like giving them this ability to use it so they can profit off of it, and they're also just, you know, pushing Game Pass to try and get people to you know, get that DLC. And again, I'll go over why I just don't like Game Pass, is where I feel like it's headed to. But then let's talk about all the cool stuff that's going on here that they decided not to tell us about, which I'm just sitting there going, what? Why didn't they not tell us about this? Okay, so the tech test starts next month. There's going to be a new, like, improved horde mode that they're going to show off in August, and then the game releases in September. The progressive horde mode that's what I call it, but it's basically called Escape. And what's cool with it that they didn't announce, they should have teased us with, was the fact that it has a map builder. It's kind of like a Forge, something that, you know, I did that video on about the top, you know, most requested features for Gears 5, and that was one of the things they just added. A lot of people were actually asking for this, and they added this. This is kind of cool, and that they said that it's not going to end there. They're going to actually extend it into the regular horde mode and into versus. Build your own versus, you know, matches. That's pretty cool. You can build your own map, probably, hopefully, place your own weapons down and everything. That's mind-blowing that they, you know, have this, and they didn't even advertise it at E3. This would have got so many people hype. I just posted it on a few Gears of War groups, and everyone's going insane over this. Also, the best stuff that, you know, most of us gamers hate, guess what? No season pass, no Gears pack loot box mechanics. In fact, there's no RNG mechanics in the game. Anything you want to buy and purchase, you can buy directly. All of the maps are going to be free for both matchmaking and private play. Also, the exclusive there's exclusive earnable content too that you can't just buy it. You actually have to go through like kind of like they call it a tour of duty system. That sounds so fun. Why was this not advertised? People would have gone insane for this. You directly get to buy what you want, no RNG, and they have so many different ways of unlocking cool stuff, and that you get to use maps both in matchmaking and private. Before, it was just in matchmaking. If you wanted to use in private, you had to pay for it in Gears 4, which was just stupid. I criticized for that, and they fixed it. I'm cool with that. I'm actually glad. I was, you know, hesitant to even pre-order this game, and then they're advertising all these cool features and weapons and so forth, and I'm like sitting there going, why did they not present this at E3 instead of that LSD acid trip Kate trailer. That just made no sense to use that. And then in good news, like some of the games that kind of were looking cool. I mean, you got George R.R. Martin's Elden Ring game or whatever it's called coming out. That kind of looks interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm always skeptical, but I mean, I don't know, because D&D kind of blew that ending for the show. But yeah, they're coming out with a Blood Moon or whatever, which is supposed to be the prequel, which is supposed to be the actual Long Night, the original, which I hope that's pretty cool. I mean, again, I'm really hoping for this series to have some of the cool stuff, and I really hope that they eventually, even with this Elden Ring, if it goes all well, that hopefully that maybe they'll actually come out with an actual Game of Thrones game. I'm really hoping for an RTS MMO or something like that, something that would be really cool, like open world, you can visit wherever you want, but also the dangers, like if you go over the wall or you try to go to Sthurios or try to go east of Essos, that you have to encounter all the dangers and whatnot, and also it'd be like high danger, some of these things you just won't even survive. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, and then also you got the Blair Witch was completely like out of left field. No one saw that happening. It was like, what the heck? There's an Blair Witch game? I don't even play horror games that often, but this is kind of interesting. Ever since I remember when I was a kid watching the movie, and I'm like, hey, if it is as terrifying as people, as the show was, hopefully it's kind of good. Because I mean, some people, hint that it's kind of like an Outlast 3. Then there's Doom Eternal, which everyone's waiting for that the most badass motherfucker out there. Just goddamn, 2016 Doom was pretty cool. I mean, I keep watching videos of it. I haven't gotten around time to actually play it, but I really do, because it looks fun. It's action packed, always moving around. And it's just like you get to go all beast mode with so much gore. It looks actually like a lot of fun. So everyone looks pretty excited for the second one. Also, Cyberpunk 2077. You got your Keanu Reeves, which everyone was all surprised by. But that was really cool. And then, I can't believe, it's so cool. It's like probably the most anticipated game this year. I think it's coming out this year or whatnot. And yet still someone has to complain about it on Twitter and whatnot. Like, are you kidding me? They never know when to shut up when, it's such a good game. They had to, ruin, Batwoman with, making it look so cringy on a TV show. It was just like, a lot of these DC and Avenger shows I don't even care for, because they usually just seem to be really bad acting and bad CGI and so forth. It really doesn't look that great with the effects. But then they had to go an extra step with Batwoman and make it look really bad. I saw everyone, making fun of it. I'm like, how bad can this be? And then I watch it, I'm just like, oh my god. I'm not going to stand by while a man takes credit for a woman's work. Yet she breaks into Bruce's place, steals his stuff, gives away his watch and whatnot, and then tells a dude to fix it for her because it's not perfect until it fits on a woman's body. And then it just made it look completely out of touch and hypocritical of what she was saying after stealing other dude's stuff and then saying, oh, but I can't let anyone take credit for what I do. It's like, really? Oh my god, that was just the stupidest thing. I could tell. Also, I could tell the love interest in that in this show. They didn't need to do the whole kissing thing. You could tell who the love interest was. Personally, me, I feel like either the kissing was in a way both, woke washing ad while also sexualizing the character that we already know is a lesbian, just try and tease horny teenagers. That's what it looked like. It really was just like, why is this necessary? They just seem to like really push it, even though we all know who Batwoman is. So it's kind of dumb to actually put that in there. Again, she should have been building her own suit. This is like how I feel like they just completely downplayed Batwoman, because I feel like the character herself could be capable of building her own suit. So the whole having to take someone else's stuff and rebuild it, and she didn't rebuild it, she had someone else build it for her. It really just sounded bad. It tried and sound woke, but yet you had a black guy having to rebuild a suit for this white woman. It almost kind of felt like a little bit like what do they call it, where where people like white people that try to act woke about things, and then they have yet they have a black person do all the work for them. It's just like, oh my god, you try to sound like you're like, oh, we're really bringing change, but in reality you kind of come off as, you know, trying to I need to stop from that. I just don't even want to get into that political crap, but if it could be worse than, you know, Captain Marvel, you know, where she just beats up a dude for saying a mean comment and touches her newspaper, and people were like, oh, but it's assault, it's okay to do that. I go, well, didn't Captain Marvel do the same thing to Stan Lee? And how is that not the same thing? But yeah, you know, I'm surprised that even got brought back after the movie was, you know, so unmemorable and forgotten, that, you know, ever since the last Avenger came out, everyone forgot about its existence until that deleted scene came out. And then even Disney had to buy out tickets to falsify the numbers, supposedly. There's a rumor going around about that, because they're taking pictures of full theaters, with theaters where they're completely empty, but yet they said that they were sold out. And then supposedly also, you know, and then Disney was going around censoring any criticism that posted that deleted scene by abusing the copyright system. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, anyways, you know, back on point here, some of the bad things. I mean, Fallout 76 Battle Royale, I don't really care much about the Battle Royale, but I mean, come on, it's Fallout 76, it's gonna be a glitchy mess anyways. I'm not gonna say this is completely bad, but because I kind of like the Modern Warfare look and everything, I just don't understand why they rebooted. If anything, Price, how young he looks in that trailer, it looks like I would have thought this was a prequel. I would have loved to know, you know the line that Price says about, he goes, remember Beirut, you're with us. I would have thought that would have been cool if, you know, have a prequel, go back and see how some of these characters met. I thought that would have been pretty cool. That's what I originally thought before I found out that it was a reboot, and I'm like, what? And then lastly, the whole streaming service thing in mobile games. That's what was the most ugly part about this, that they were pushing, was trying to push streaming and mobile gaming. I'm so bored of, you know, seeing this stuff that I wasn't even paying attention to most of the stream. If you end up watching my stream, it's really boring. Most of it, I was not paying attention to it. I just did not care much for it. I was like, I totally missed the whole, like, I thought they were making a Terminator game because I wasn't paying attention to the Gears of War thing and so many other things that I was like, oh, they're making a Terminator game. But yeah, it wasn't. I was just, that's how much I wasn't paying attention. I was more focused on trying to fix my Mixer stream than that. And yeah, I didn't even bother with the EA Play and other events. I was so bored after the E3 stream, I didn't even bother focusing on that at all. But overall, that was just, you know, kind of like, what the hell? I just did not, all that just stuff just did not sound interesting. Again, I don't care for mobile games, and yet I know, because I graduated with a game industry degree, game art and design, that whenever I see this whole, like, when people are like, why are mobile games being pushed onto us, I can tell you for a fact that that's all they care about. When I had a game presentation I had to do, and what was it, for senior project, we have to make a video game and present it in front of actual Blizzard employees, and if they decide to take you on, then you get to be added in, or that you get they'll actually, you know, help actually market your game if they actually, not market it, but like, they'll actually take your game on if you actually present them a really good, decent quality game. And both times, both when I was both when I was an intern and also for my senior project, they kept mentioning, which was within like, you know, two years, when I was both interning for a senior group and when I was an actual senior and I had to do my group project. Both times when we had to do this, they ended up just that's all they, you know, asked about, like, how's it gonna go on the mobile games, and this was back in like 2015. So when people go like, why are they all of a sudden pushing this stuff, it's like, that's just how unfortunately some of these game industries are. They look at the statistics, they look at the statistics at these game development companies, and they just look and they go, well, mobile game just makes a ton of money because it's just easy cash, so let's just take on that market. And yet, even though the average gamer does not care about it, but they know that a lot of the people, like in the Chinese market, and women that buy their kids games on their phone to keep them entertained and whatnot, they say, well, that makes more money for us, so we're going to go into that market instead rather than the market of PC. So they really just don't care. I even invented wanted a whole new way of doing PBR based texturing with a stylized texture. They did not care one bit about this new thing. They were like, nah, how does it play on mobile games? Like sitting there going, oh my god. But yeah, so overall people are just like sitting there going, why is this a thing? It's like, that's a thing with them. That's how out of touch they are, because they think something like Diablo Immortal is going to blow away gamers, and they're surprised when people are like, nah, not interested. But these gaming companies are like, mobile gaming is the future. Mobile gaming is the future. Look at Diablo Immortal. Shouldn't it get Game of the Year? But yeah, unfortunately, just no one really cares about it. So yeah, that's just unfortunate. And then there's streaming services. That's the thing with Game Passes that I'm kind of worried about. Is I just do not really care for streaming services. It's just like Netflix. I mean, if you have a game and then if someone else wants to decide and take it away, they can't. I mean, that's what Disney did. They took a bunch of movies off that you were shows and movies and stuff like that. They just took that away, like, nope, we're gonna bring it over here now, and if you want it, you got to come over here. Then you got CBS All Access, and you got all those dumb things. I mean, just imagine if I know it's never gonna happen, but just imagine Halo gets bought out by Epic Games Store or Sony, and then they get to take it, and then all of a sudden, even though you're paying the streaming service, you have this game now. You can no longer play this game, maybe even lose all your progress, because now you got to go over to their streaming service. And I mean, Google Stadia and all those things, I just don't really care for it. And I mean, when the Xbox One originally came out, there was a controversy over one of the employees who, there's a rumor going around that they took this away, but that the Xbox was going to be an always-on system. And people criticize for it, and the guy comes out there and goes, well, if you just have really bad quality where you live, just move somewhere better. It's like, they're so insensitive. Oh, I should spend thousands of dollars to move somewhere else so that I can have the ability to have to keep my Xbox always on when I want to play, or always connected, rather than I want to play offline. Even games on PC with Steam, you don't have to do that, which is kind of just like it was just stupid that they were pushing that. And that's why I don't like streaming services, because I'm afraid the same thing happens, where they're going to try and do that, and that you have no ownership of the game. I kind of like that. But then again, the better part of streaming, the one thing I'll give it the pros on, is a lot of game companies, I'm not sure if they're really having this much trouble compressing games, but if you look at the Xbox 360 games, how big they were, and then you look at the Xbox One games, it's like, what the hell? They just jumped drastically from a couple gigabytes to, like, now you got Halo 4, Halo MCC, Halo 5 with 100 gigabyte space usage, and it just kills your hard drive immediately. So that's, I mean, one of the, at least the one good advantage of streaming services. But at the same time, also streaming services have their downside. So it's like this pros and cons. If they could actually put in some of their contract, like if I download this game, even if another company buys it out, that I still have the services to play it, and that I'm not going to lose that because I already in my streaming service, I put that game on my list, that they can't take that away. If I know that's never possibly going to happen, they're never going to give us that kind of control, I feel like. But if they actually did that, I'd be more open to streaming services. But until then, I just don't like that. I don't like that idea. It seems really dumb, and it seems like something I'm just completely uninterested in at all. And yeah, and at the very last news, something was really cool that came out with, if you guys are Battlefront fans, they just announced a whole bunch of stuff. They announced finally we got droidicas. And then on top of that, we got the TX-130 tank. I love that thing from the classic Battlefront. So it's gonna be cool to have that. There's more skins. There's more. There's gonna be an offline mode. There's gonna be so many other features and changes that they recently made. And so this game is already, finally picking up and getting more stuff into it. I hate the fact that it took this long, like almost 2 years, 3 years, for it to finally get to having all the stuff in it. But finally it's got a whole bunch of cool stuff. They fixed Darth Maul's saber throw and a whole bunch of other stuff. I really hope, though, I understand why the offline mode is going to take forever, or it's going to be one of the later things to add into the game. I always do that because it's not necessarily needed for a game that still has a high population. When it becomes to the point where the population dies out, I understand an offline mode being created for Battlefront. That sounds like something that's when they should add it in. So overall, I'm kind of actually happy with the things that are coming to Battlefront as well, even though I wasn't at the E3, and I don't even think they even presented that at EA Play. But yeah, I didn't bother with any of the other stuff like EA Play and all those other things because I just was not even interested after that boring E3 stream. But again, that's the problem that they fail at. You need to have this, like, ready to go the first time you show the stream, the day one stuff. You need to show the stuff that's going to blow people away and they're going to want to watch the rest of it. Not, you know, these quick cinematic trailers that don't give us any content about it. Like when they showed the Blair Witch thing, they showed some gameplay with it. That's why it made it actually interesting. They're like, oh shoot, this is creepy when they show that kind of stuff, and that's why it needs to have that kind of stuff too. And unfortunately, they just didn't have that, and that's why it just failed. I mean, the fact that Microsoft had it where Sony was not even going to show up, and they could have gone all out and really just blown away with the marketing that they got, the free marketing, because all the cameras are going to be on them, and then they just presented a bunch of mobile and games and talk about streaming services, Game Passes. It's like sitting there going, you had so much potential and you just threw it away. But that's why I think, you know, the E3 2019 was a fail. Even though there's a lot of great news and a lot of cool things that I just presented you guys with, overall it was just, it's kind of unfortunate that they had this opportunity and they just did not take it to the full extent, because they could have blown away with all that news I just presented you with Gears of War. That stuff they showed off. I really wish that they had properly did that Gears of War presentation, because they say, oh yeah, well, they have some of that gameplay at the E3 later on, but it's like, no, you gotta have that day one in the trailer to grab people's attentions right then and there. That's what they're sitting there for 2 hours. To sit there for 2 hours watching a stream and then you go, oh, that's gonna come in the next day or two. No, you have to have that right then and there. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here, you guys. Thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and if you have any thoughts and opinions yourself, put it in the comment section below. If you again, give me a thumbs up to help the video out, and subscribe and hit notifications if you want to get more videos. I'm gonna try and I was hoping to get the Halo controversy video out this week, because I knew the next week something big was gonna happen, but I'll try to get it out hopefully before the flight test and Halo Reach start, because it's gonna be a pretty good one if I can get it done. So I'm gonna be working on that, but unfortunately I just lost my voice, and I'm hoping that I can get this video out this week. It might not even come out till Saturday night. I'm not sure, but anyways, thank you all for watching, and hope you all have a great day. Peace.
Drop the bass. One.